What is up, everyone? You are checking out the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast. I am Ant, and today we are covering the greatest WrestleMania matches of the 1990s. The 80s ended with Hulkamania running wild. The 90s is going to start with the Ultimate Challenge with WrestleMania 6 emanating from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. The WWE Champion Hulk Hogan defending against the WWE Intercontinental Champion, the Ultimate Warrior. And this, again, as I mentioned just earlier, was the Ultimate Challenge. The two men stared down each other, and this was a match that a lot of fans were waiting to see because these two guys were the top names in 1990 at the time. So seeing these two baby faces, top guys go at it, it was almost like watching Batman versus Superman, who was going to be the better. And the two men show that during the match when they have a test of strength. And Hulk Hogan nails a body slam. The Ultimate Warrior gets right back up, and then Warrior slams Hogan. Warrior clotheslines Hulk Hogan outside the ring, and then Hogan grabs his knee in pain. Hulk Hogan then nails a running clothesline in the corner, and he attacks the Ultimate Warrior. Hogan nails a backbreaker, and the Warrior gets the count up. They nail a double clothesline, and then Hogan again attacks the Warrior, who powers up. Warrior nails 3 clotheslines, and then the Ultimate Warrior applies a bear hug, and then the referee gets dropped to the floor. Warrior nails 2 double axe handles, and Warrior jumps, but Hulk Hogan drops Warrior down. Hogan elbows Warrior to the outside, and Warrior sends Hulk Hogan into the post. Warrior lands a press slam and a splash, but Hulk Hogan counts out, gets a 2 count. Hulk Hogan hulks up, nails a big boot, but misses a leg drop, and that's when the Ultimate Warrior lands a splash to get the win and become your new WWE champion. And this was a great match, and the turning of the guard to the Ultimate Warrior. Hulk Hogan was able to drop the title to the Ultimate Warrior, and it's just the beginning of Warrior's rise in WWE. Definitely check out the Ultimate Warrior versus Hulk Hogan from WrestleMania 6. Moving on now to WrestleMania 7. It was from live in 1991 in Los Angeles. It was a special retirement match. The Macho King Randy Savage with Sensational Queen Sherry taking on the Ultimate Warrior. These two were going to do battle to see which man was going to retire. The WWE was not big enough for both of them, and one of them was going to be done. We see Miss Elizabeth in the audience. Randy Savage turned on Elizabeth after 1989, and he joined forces with Sensational Sherry, and they became king and queen of the WWE. And this is their whole gimmick leading up to WrestleMania 7. Savage attacks from behind, but Warrior drops him and lands an atomic drop. Warrior tosses Savage onto Sensational Sherry in the ring. Warrior ties Savage between the ropes and punches him. Savage lands a clothesline, and then Warrior catches Savage in midair and slaps him, which then obviously pisses Savage off. Savage tosses a chair in the ring, and he attacks Warrior from behind. Warrior kicks Savage in the corner. He misses a splash and falls to the outside. Sensational Queen Sherry attacks Ultimate Warrior outside the ring, but then Warrior pushes her to the ground. Sherry continues to attack Warrior, but then she runs in the ropes but gets dropped. Both men nail a double clothesline, and Savage knees Warrior into the referee, dropping the ref to the mat. Sherry jumps off the top rope and accidentally hits Savage with her shoe. Warrior chases Sherry around the ring, but then Savage drops Warrior neck first over the top rope. Savage nails 5 flying elbow drops. I can't believe that. 5, and he gets a 2 count. Warrior revives and nails many clotheslines. He nails a press slam, splash to the back, and gets a 2 count. Warrior talks to the gods, asking them if it's his time. And then Warrior leaves the ring, and then Savage sends him off the apron. Sherry holds Warrior's neck across the railing, but Warrior moves and Savage lands into the guard railing. Warrior shoulder blocks Randy Savage 3 times out of the ring, and then he puts one foot on top of Savage to get the win. After this match is probably one of the most memorable moments in WrestleMania history. Sensational Sherry attacks Randy Savage, kicking him, and then Miss Elizabeth runs down to the ring, makes a save, tosses Sensational Sherry out of the ring, and Savage embraces Elizabeth Women are crying, men are crying. It was a moment that fans were waiting over a year to finally see Savage and Elizabeth reunite, and it happened here live at WrestleMania 7. Now we're going to move on to WrestleMania 8. It was in 1992, live in Indianapolis, Indiana. The WWE Intercontinental Championship on the line. The Intercontinental Champion Hot Rod Roddy Piper defending against the Hitman Bret Hart. And these two were friends. Piper trained in Bret Hart's father, Stu Hart's dungeon. And these two are going to do battle at WrestleMania. And Piper and Bret arm drag one another, and then Piper spits on Bret. Piper then sends Bret face first into the pad. Bret lands a drop kick, but is selling his shoulder that he's hurting it. Bret attempts a crossbody to the outside of the ring, and then Roddy Piper holds the ropes open for Bret Hart after pulling him into the ring, challenging him to come back in. Bret goes to tie his boot, and Piper punches him, and then Bret Hart is bleeding. Piper lands a bulldog and gets a 2 count. Piper bites Bret Hart, making the blood and opening the wound up a bit more. Bret nails a sunset flip, gets a 2 count. Piper punches away at Bret. Bret lands a flying forearm, sending Piper to the outside of the ring. Both men nail a double clothesline. Bret drops Piper to the mat. Atomic drop and a snap suplex, and he gets a 2 count. Bret nails a backbreaker, and he jumps off the top of Piper, has his boot up. Piper tosses Bret into the referee. Piper clotheslines Bret to the outside and sends him into the steps. Roddy Piper has the ring bell. He goes to hit Bret, but then Piper drops it and applies a sleeper hold instead. And Bret uses his feet to bounce off the ropes and roll up Roddy Piper to get the win. And Bret Hart is your new Intercontinental Champion. Everyone was excited for this one. The crowd was pumped. It was a great match. Gave more than what a lot of the fans were expecting. And Roddy Piper and Bret Hart are both Hall of Famers. And this match is another example of why they should count it in that regard. The Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast family would like you to check out Anchor.
With Anchor, you can record, edit, and publish your own podcast for free.
Distributing your podcasts has never been this easy with Anchor, which allows you to send out your podcast to platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and much, much more.
Get uncensored and download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Next, we are going to WrestleMania 10. Live in Madison Square Garden. It's 1994, and we're starting off with the brother versus brother match. Bret, the Hitman Hart, taking on the King of Hearts, who, well, he wasn't King of Hearts at the time, but in our eyes, he is the King of Hearts, Owen Hart, and this was a great match. One of my favorite matches of all of WrestleMania history, because it was the first time you got to actually see two brothers really compete and try to have a match that benefited both men, and it was a great opening, probably the best opening WrestleMania match of all time. So let's get right into the action. Both men start off with back and forth submissions, but Bret ends up sending Owen Hart outside. Owen Hart slaps Bret. Bret rolls up and then an arm down takedown. Bret with a monkey flip and a clothesline to the outside. Owen lands a spinning heel kick, and then Owen tosses Bret into the corner and applies a camel clutch. Owen lands a belly to belly, and then a German suplex bridge and a 2 count. Owen nails a tombstone. He misses a flying headbutt. Bret then lands a clothesline and nails a Russian leg sweep with a 2 count. Double fist drop by Bret Hart. Bret and Owen both go for sharpshooters. Bret ends up jumping over the rope to Owen Hart outside, but then Bret hurts his injured knee. Bret goes to tie his boot and I'm sorry, Bret goes. I was looking at my notes earlier, you guys. I'm a little obviously out of sorts recording this. Don't mind me. Bret hurts his knee, and then Owen kicks away at the knee and attacks it. Owen rams Bret's legs into the ring post. Owen applies a modified figure 4 and then an actual figure 4 leg lock. Bret reverses the figure 4 and grabs the ropes. Owen kicks Bret's leg in the corner, but Bret lands an enziguri. Bret sends Owen Hart into the post and gets a 2 count. Bulldog to Owen Hart with a 2. Bret nails a pile driver, and then he lands a superplex and gets a 2 count. Owen with a low blow to Bret Hart, and he applies a sharpshooter. Bret reverses it, but Owen grabs the ropes. Bret then goes on top of Owen Hart, who ends up rolling up Bret to get the surprise win. This is a great match. Owen Hart looked amazing, and it was a match that definitely I recommend everyone checking out because it was just back and forth, nonstop action, brother versus brother. It was great. Our next match also comes from WrestleMania 10. It is the WWE Intercontinental Championship ladder match. It was for the undisputed champion, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, got injured. And when he came back, he said that he was still champion. He didn't know why they took the title away from him. The bad guy, the late, great Razor Ramon, who was also on Scott Hall, was the Intercontinental Champion at the time. So we were going to find out who the undisputed Intercontinental Champion was live at WrestleMania in the first ever televised ladder match. And Shawn Michaels comes down with Diesel, and Shawn nails a spinning neck breaker to start the match. Shawn is also rocking a really huge mullet, which is really cool. Shawn Michaels sends Razor to the outside. Diesel clotheslines Razor, and then the referee kicks Diesel out. Razor sends HBK to the post and clotheslines HBK to the outside. Razor goes for a Razor's edge, but Shawn Michaels back drops him over the top rope. HBK drop kicks the ladder into Razor Ramon and then sends Razor's head into the steps. HBK slams the ladder onto Razor Ramon's chest and his back. HBK climbs the ladder, but then Razor pulls him, but HBK lands an elbow drop. HBK would have splashed off the ladder onto Razor Ramon, that iconic moment that is seen all the time. HBK and Razor Ramon run into each other. Razor runs a ladder into HBK outside the ring, and he catapults HBK into a ladder. Razor then nails HBK with a ladder, sending Shawn Michaels to the outside. Razor climbs the ladder, but Shawn Michaels jumps off the top onto Razor, sending him off the ladder. Both men climb, but then Razor backdrops HBK off, and Razor falls off as well. Shawn Michaels drop kicks the ladder, sending Razor down, and then Shawn nails a super kick and a pile driver. He splashes Razor Ramon with the ladder, but then as Shawn Michaels climbs, Razor drop kicks HBK off the ladder. HBK's foot gets trapped in the ropes, and Razor grabs the title belt, becoming your undisputed Intercontinental Champion. This is a great match because these two guys are showing what the new generation was made of. They were taking names. This was right as Hulk Hogan has signed with, well, he was away from WWE. He obviously was signing with WCW. And this is a kickoff of the new generation era. And these two men had an amazing encounter, a great ladder match. Obviously, it was good. They would have produced ladder matches if this match was bad. And it was just a great match. And rest in peace to Scott Hall. Shawn Michaels looked great in this match too. Just an epic encounter between these two. Another great match, one of my favorites too. Next up, we're coming to you at WrestleMania 11, the WWE title on the line. The WWE champion Big Daddy Cool Diesel taking on his former friend, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, who is accompanied to the ring by Psycho Sid. Shawn Michaels won the Royal Rumble in 1995 and had challenged his former friend. After Diesel became champion, Shawn Michaels kind of ditched him, and it was just a battle between these two. What's cool about this match was Diesel was accompanied to the ring by Pamela Anderson, and Jenny McCarthy was with Shawn Michaels, so it was a little cool flip role seeing all the celebrities out for this match. Another cool factor about WrestleMania 11, it was in my home state of Connecticut, and my brother had the opportunity of going to WrestleMania Access, and there's so many great photos. There's a picture of him and my dad in almost like sumo wrestler costumes to sort of replicate Yokozuna, and he took pictures of wrestlers and great moments and memories, and this was a good match. The match starts with a huge clothesline from Diesel. Diesel elbows in the corner, a big backdrop, and then Diesel tosses HBK out, and he lands on a cameraman. Shawn Michaels then with running punches, but then Diesel nails a huge knee lift, sending Shawn Michaels out of the ring. Diesel misses a big boot, and Shawn Michaels clotheslines Diesel outside. Shawn Michaels with a flying crossbody. And then Diesel accidentally elbows the post outside, and then Shawn Michaels nails a splash off the apron to Diesel outside the ring. Shawn Michaels nails a top rope bulldog and gets a 2 count. HBK with a reverse elbow off the top, another 2. HBK then lands a flying elbow drop to Diesel's back, another 2 count. And then Diesel ends up landing elbows and a running clothesline in the corner, and he drops HBK head first into the post. Shawn Michaels begs off. The two fight outside the ring. HBK nails a super kick in the ring, and the referee is outside. The ref is holding his knee, so the ref is hurt. He gets 2 count. Sid exposes the post, and Diesel lands a back suplex at the same time. Diesel lands a side slam, and he catapults Shawn Michaels into the exposed turnbuckle. He lands a big boot and jackknife powerbomb for the win. And after the match, Diesel celebrates with both Pamela Anderson and Jenny McCarthy, along with Jonathan Taylor Thomas and other celebrities as the fireworks go off. This is a great match. WrestleMania 11 wasn't the best known WrestleMania of the time, but it was a card that did have a couple of good matches. This one is an example of that. Next, we have WrestleMania 12, 1996, the WWE title, the 60-minute Iron Man match. The WWE champion Bret the Hitman Hart defending against HBK Shawn Michaels with Jose Lothario. Shawn won the 1996 Royal Rumble. These two men were going to compete, and this is the first ever 60-minute Iron Man match on TV from WWE. And it was a great match, a lot of action. Bret applies a side headlock, both men reversed. Bret went back with the side headlock. HBK accidentally hits the cameraman with a sweet chin music after Bret Hart moved out of the way. Shawn Michaels applies an arm submission. Bret lands an uppercut and accidentally runs into the post. Shawn Michaels has a shoulder breaker and a flying double axe handle. Shawn Michaels applies an arm submission, and Bret drops HBK neck first over the ropes. He gets a 2 count. Bret lands an atomic drop and a clothesline. Bret then with the knee lift from the top rope, sending HBK, dropping Shawn Michaels into the referee. Bret Hart nails a power driver and the leg drop. Shawn Michaels ends a flying crossbody to Bret Hart outside. HBK locks in a sleeper hold. Bret backdrops HBK over the turnbuckle post to the outside. Bret Hart attacks HBK's back, and Bret nails a back suplex off the top and gets a 2 count. Bret applies a camel clutch and then a Russian leg sweep. Shawn Michaels is tossed outside and he lands on Jose Lothario. Bret sends HBK into the steps, nice belly to belly. Shawn Michaels rolls up Bret Hart, but he pushes Shawn Michaels off to the outside. Bret nails a planche to HBK outside of the ring. Bret applies a camel clutch, and both men nail a double clothesline. Bret lands a superplex and then applies a half Boston crab, but HBK grabs the ropes. HBK whips Bret Hart hard into the post, and he lands a flying double axe handle, and he gets a 2 count. HBK with a flying elbow drop and a moonsault gets a 2 count. Bret Hart applies a sharpshooter. HBK holds on, and the 60-minute time runs out. Bret technically wins, but Gorilla Monsoon sends officials down and says that the match is sudden death rules, and the match will continue until there is a pinfall. Bret punches Shawn Michaels' ribs and nails a backdrop. HBK nails a sweet chin music, and then HBK nails a second one to become your new WWE champion for the first time. This is the moment we get from the boyhood dream has come true. Shawn Michaels enters is also very cool. He comes down from the rafters. It was a great match. A lot of people go back and forth if they liked it or not because of there's a lot of submission, a lot of holds, but it was a good match. It was a long match because it went over time. It was over 60 minutes. So definitely check it out though. Next, we are moving on to WrestleMania 13, the submission match with guest referee Ken Shamrock, Bret Hitman Hart taking on Stone Cold Steve Austin. This is an amazing encounter. The two brawl to start. Bret sends Stone Cold into the post outside the ring. The two fight in the crowd. Stone Cold tosses Bret Hart into the steps, and Bret nails a twisting neck breaker. Bret jumps on Stone Cold's leg, and Stone Cold lands a stunner. Bret applies a figure 4 across the ring post. Austin nails Bret Hart with a chair off the top rope and then hits him again with the chair. Stone Cold with a double fist drop, and then he applies an arm lock. Austin applies a Boston Crab, and then Bret Hart tosses Stone Cold into the guard railing outside, and then Stone Cold is busted open. Stone Cold is now bleeding really badly as Bret Hart punches him, exposing more of the blood. He nails a backdrop. Bret Hart goes for a sharpshooter, but then Austin 316 rakes Bret's eyes. Austin nails a superplex, and then Stone Cold chokes Bret with a wire, but then Bret Hart nails Stone Cold with the ring bell. Bret applies a sharpshooter. Stone Cold is in pain. Blood is pouring down. He gets out of it, but then Bret is able to apply it again. At this point, there is nothing Stone Cold could do. Stone Cold passes out, and Bret Hart is your winner. After the match, Bret Hart attacks Stone Cold until Ken Shamrock pulls Bret Hart off and makes the save for Austin. This is a great match because it was the first time you got to see Stone Cold become the face. The fans fell in love with Stone Cold. They turned on Bret Hart. It was definitely a match worth watching, and I definitely recommend checking this one out as well. This is the time now that WWE was going head-to-head with WCW. They were losing the Monday Night Wars at the time, and this match was a cornerstone to kind of show them that a lot of stuff was coming up. Next, we're going to WrestleMania 14. We are seeing brother versus brother, Kane with Paul Bearer taking on his brother, The Undertaker. This is the first time these two would meet. This is probably one of the greatest storylines in WWE history. Don't mind me. I am pouring my beverage in my cup. I'm not peeing. Trust me. Anyways, brother versus brother. Kane debuted at Bad Blood 1997, costing The Undertaker the #1 contendership for the WWE title in a Hell in a Cell match. And for weeks and months, Kane has attacked The Undertaker. The Undertaker has done nothing. And finally, the two are going to meet face-to-face at WrestleMania 14. And we are right in the middle of the Attitude Era during this time. Undertaker has a really cool entrance where he comes down in the Druids. They have the poles that are on fire, which is cool. Undertaker and Kane go face-to-face, back and forth. Kane runs Undertaker into the post and kicks Undertaker on the mat. Kane then Irish whips Undertaker hard into the post and lands a clothesline. Kane nails a flying clothesline to the Undertaker, who is hung over the ropes at this time. Undertaker climbs Kane's shoulders, but Kane drops Undertaker down. Kane drops Undertaker onto the guard railing and sends him into the ring steps. He nails Undertaker in the back with the ring steps and sends the steps under Undertaker's ribs again. Paul Bearer attacks Undertaker outside, and Kane suplexes Undertaker back into the ring. Kane chokeslams the Undertaker and gets a 2 count. Undertaker is able to nail a big boot. Undertaker jumps over the top, but Kane sends him through the commentary table. Kane nails a flying clothesline and gets a 2. Kane counters a tombstone and lands a tombstone of his own. He gets a 2 count. Undertaker lands a chokeslam. Tombstone gets a 2 count. He nails a leg drop. And then Undertaker lands a second tombstone and a flying clothesline. Finally, Kane drops. And then for a third time, Undertaker nails a third tombstone and Undertaker gets the win. After the match, however, Paul Bearer attacks Undertaker. Undertaker punches Paul. But then Kane hits Undertaker with a chair, and Kane tombstones Undertaker on top of the chair. Even though Undertaker won, Kane left the ring last standing, and Kane looked awesome in this match. Next, we're staying at WrestleMania 14, the WWE title on the line. Special guest enforcer Mike Tyson for this match. The WWE champion HBK Shawn Michaels taking on Stone Cold Steve Austin. Shawn Michaels has DX by his side. This is a big money match. However, during the match, Shawn Michaels gets hurt, but we'll talk about it as it happens. Stone Cold chases Shawn Michaels and sends him into the post. Stone Cold backdrops HBK over the top rope onto Triple H outside the ring. Triple H sends Stone Cold into the railing, and the referee forces DX to leave ringside. Shawn Michaels hits Stone Cold with a drum set outside, but then Stone Cold whips HBK hard into the ring post. Stone Cold punches HBK off the apron onto the commentary table. Shawn Michaels backdrops Stone Cold over the guard railing, and then after this point, Shawn Michaels messes up his back. Shawn Michaels rams Stone Cold's legs into the ring post. Austin sends HBK himself into the ring post. And then HBK nails a baseball slide to Stone Cold. And then Shawn Michaels shot blocks Stone Cold's knee. Shawn Michaels applies a figure 4, and he grabs the ropes for leverage. Shawn Michaels lands a forearm after Stone Cold bounces himself off the ring post. HBK nails a flying elbow drop, and the referee is out. Stone Cold nails a stunner, and then Mike Tyson comes into the ring, counts the pin, and Stone Cold Steve Austin is your new WWE champion. After the match, Shawn Michaels gets in Mike Tyson's face, and Mike Tyson punches Shawn Michaels, and he celebrates and has on his Stone Cold shirt. This is the first time Stone Cold Steve Austin has become WWE champion, and although Shawn Michaels says it wasn't his greatest match with Austin, the two of them did have a hell of a fight. We are now going to recap our last great WrestleMania match, and it comes to us from 1999, the end of the 90s. This has been such a huge era. We went from wrestlers like Hulk Hogan, the Ultimate Warrior, to Bret Hart, to Stone Cold, to Shawn Michaels. So many people, and now we're going to see the WWE title, WrestleMania 15, a no disqualification match. The WWE champion, The Rock, with Vince McMahon, defending against Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold Steve Austin has been a thorn in Vince's side ever since he won the Rumble, and it has been a non-stop brawl between the two since 1998. The Rock sends Stone Cold onto the announce table and chokes Stone Cold with his own t-shirt. Stone Cold sends The Rock over the top rope to the outside of the ring. They fight in the crowd, and then Stone Cold sends The Rock over the guard railing. Stone Cold clotheslines Rock outside on concrete. Rock backdrops Stone Cold onto the stage. Rock nails a suplex onto the concrete, and he spits waters in Stone Cold's face. Stone Cold nails a double fist drop onto The Rock, putting him through a table. The Rock whips Stone Cold's leg across the post. Stone Cold whips The Rock into the ring steps, and The Rock nails a rock bottom and gets a 2 count. Austin accidentally nails the referee with a steel chair, and then The Rock nails Austin's legs with a chair shots. Rock hits Stone Cold with a chair across the face, and he gets a 2 count. Rock hits a rock bottom on the referee. Stone Cold nails a stunner. A new referee runs down and gets a 2 count. Vince McMahon then walks out of the ring, and The Rock nails a low blow to Stone Cold. Vince gets to the ring, and he hits the referee. Vince and The Rock attack Stone Cold until Mankind runs down and makes the save. Rock goes for a people's elbow, but Stone Cold moves. Stone Cold nails a stunner, and he gets the win, and The Rock is your new WWE champion. Goodbye, Corporation and Vince McMahon. Well, that has been a huge countdown. So many great matches and memories from the WrestleMania during the 90s. So many great matches to look back on. The 90s is such a great decade of change and transformation. The Monday Night Wars was going on. Competition was at the highest. And it was a time for WWE to show up, make new stars. And that is exactly what they did. We will see you in our next decade, the best WrestleMania matches of the 2000s. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Follow us on the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast on YouTube. We're also streaming on Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. Be sure to give us a 5-star rating. Stay safe, and we will see you soon.